Trading is a performance sport. That means like you only make money if you can actually perform when the market opens, or you can actually perform the process of trading. And in order to improve performance, one of the techniques which is used in sports psychology, which is highly like proven kind of a technique, is visualization. If you see tennis players before a match, they spend time visualizing how they are going to play the opponent depending on the kind of situation they are in, whether he's a left-hander, right-hander, whether he's a big server or not a big server, whether he's basically strong on a certain side, or where does he stand, the depth of his service, things like that. Similarly, because short-term trading is like a performance sports, I have developed visualization script for my own trading. These visualization scripts are specific to the kind of trading which I do and the kind of performance which I am looking for. And I spend, say, first thing when I come to the office, I spend time first doing this visualization script. Now, if you want to do this kind of a visualization, I highly recommend reading up on tennis players visualization techniques, where they will have a technique, they will have a scripts which are developed, or like even if you see the people who do figure skating, or people who do skiing, like Michaela Schifrin, who is like very well known skiing champion, she uses visualization a lot. So in this visualization, what you want to do is you want to mimic your performance as you would do. Like in the case of Michaela Schifrin, if you see her interviews where she talks about, she takes a broom and imagines her entire run. Or if you see some of the interviews of some of the tennis players, then they will pre-match, they will game out like, look, this player is left-hander, so I'm going to, so they will have a scripts which will say serve to the right, or return to the right, or like move to the left, or move to the right, or serve is going to come here. So these kind of pre-prepping of your mind or visualization, psychologists have studied this, and it is supposed to improve your performance, and it is supposed to decrease your performance anxiety. So some of the scripts which I use is, and when you're designing the scripts, they should be positive scripts. That means like do not lose money is not a good script. A positive script, like always be in control, is a good script. So the scripts which I have is always being controlled risk taking, which is like to look at how much risk I'm going to be carrying on a position, where are my stops going to be. I don't want to be taking more than 4% overnight risk in certain market conditions, or like basically I don't want to be putting in a longer stop. So controlled risk taking is one of my very important scripts for the kind of style which I do, is called as basically find and enter early, which is basically all the breakouts which I buy, or the anticipation watch list from which I have a script, find and enter early, because the earlier you can enter, lower is your stop and more profit you can do. So find and enter early is one of my scripts. Then for selling, I have a script called sell into strength, because I always like to sell when the stock is still going up, not when it comes down or something like that, right? T3A, which is think 3 days ahead. I'm always thinking 3 days ahead. So I'm thinking today is like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 2 more days. So what is likely to happen to the market? What is likely to happen to my position in the next 3 days? Or what is likely to happen to the my watch list in next 3 days? So those are the kind of things which I am thinking about. Then I have a script which is a very important script, and which I think and a lot of traders have a problem with, is like when the Fed becomes active, or when there is a bull market, right? It's very essential to remain bullish during the bull market. So I have a script called buy the BTFD, or buy the fucking dip, which is when the Fed is active, you keep buying any dip. Or if a sector gets active, or certain theme, like currently AI is a theme, so my script is very clear. Okay, look, I'm going to keep on buying dips in AI stocks till it stops working, right? So that's an important script. Then I have a script called plastics. Plastics is basically a script which tells me that I should focus on three sectors: healthcare, technology, consumer discretionary, because my studies show that majority of the breakout which work come from technology, healthcare, and consumer discretionary field. The word plastic comes from the movie Graduate, where there is a scene where the one of his uncle or one of the person he's having an affair with his wife calls him and says, "Okay, look, and I have just one word and plastics because there's a great feature in plastic," which was the when the movie came out in 60s, that was the biggest technology of that time. But the script so easy to remember plastics is because of that reason. Then I have a script called Cougar, which is like and basically again um, to focus on young setups, to focus on young stocks, to focus on young ideas and not extended stocks or late in the move. So those are the that's a script to tell me that always look for younger setups or first leg of a setup, or look for stocks which are IPO'd in the last 10 years. That's where bigger moves will come from. Linearity is something which I look for in every single thing which I look for. So I have a script called linearity. Then I have a newer script which is for like a kind of a setup which I have developed in the recent years and which I trade, which is a setup where there are those stocks have very strong, abnormally strong buying continuously for an extended period of time. So we call them sugar babies. So sugar babies is a script which says, okay, look, can you focus on stocks which have top 25 or 30 ranked by very aggressive buying score, which we have a methodology to find. And then IPO 10 is my script, which is to everyday focus on stocks which are IPO'd in less than 10 years, because that's where I've seen a lot of big moves comes from. Then I have a script called built in, which is like whenever I'm looking at breakouts or whenever I'm looking at an EP, to focus on a stock which has a capitalization below 10 billion. Then I have a script called size, which is like basically size matters. Like if you're putting in a position, if you're even doing swing trading, and if you're just putting 5% of your account or putting 10%, it will move your account by little bit. But if you're putting a real size, then it can move your account. So you have to remind yourself, like say yesterday I closed a position which was like in an account of half a million account. It was like half a million one position where my risk was less than half a percent from the entry. So I could risk like a whole account on that one particular idea, and in just 3 days it managed to move the account then by 10% because I did a size, right? And so size is important. FSS, which is like a script for finding sales stars. Again, this is based on our research, proprietary research, which shows what is the kind of sales growth which is required for a stock to make a big move. So we look for these sales stars, which are like basically so the finding sales stars. So every day to remind myself to look at sales star and see if there is any breakout in them. OLC, which is organized like crazy. Everything is well organized. If you see, everything in my office is well organized. I know what I'm going to buy, what I'm going to sell, where I'm going to put a stop, the all the little things like whatever I need for making the trading software tools all in place. Basically, that's another thing which is there, right? Stocks in play, SIP, that is the script which is like focus on stocks in play, because if there is an immediate catalyst, like today umbrella has a catalyst, so it is likely to make a move. So stocks in play are stocks which have like basically a news, and because of the news that day, all the eyes are on those stocks, so they tend to do a lot of volume basically. Then we have a script called FHP, which just focus on high price stocks, because in high price stocks you can like put in a lot more capital to work very quickly. Like say I had a very large position till yesterday in Netflix, and Netflix is a high price stock. So because of that, with a very close stop, I could get into Netflix with a $2 stop, and for the kind of price Netflix is, that was less than half a percent, and that particular stock made 25 30 dollars move in 2 days from that kind of an entry. So focus on high price stock is one of the things which I focus on. Then BBT, which is a script called Big Bang Theory, which is like at the beginning of a big move, there is a big bang volume. So if you see study moves which are like 300, 500%, at the beginning of the move, there'll be a big bang, 20 million, 25 million, 30 million shares traded kind of a volume. So BBT is a script to focus on stocks which are uh, big bang volume. And then I have a script called TTT and TT, which is three tight days or two tight days. Whenever I'm looking for an anticipation kind of a setup, I'm looking for either three tight days or two tight days. And then I have a script called 80/20, which is again related to how I manage my positions. Like when I have these big positions, which are like 70, 80, 100, sometimes 150% of accounts, then I quickly in 2 days or 3 days take 80% off from them to reduce the risk and keep 20%. So if I have a big position, say if I had a very big position in a stock and it goes up for 3 days and I think it is still likely to go up for another 4 or 5 days, then I'll take 80% profit, keep 20% of the position. Then we have a script called uh, peeling, which is again same thing. And overall, I have a script which is the most important script for my style of trading, which is called FFM, which is find free money. So I'm looking for setups where my stock can be less than 2.5%. I'm looking for setups where I can put in really very close stop of 0.5%. I'm looking for setups where I can like get in, and as soon as I get in, the stock starts moving in my direction. So I can move my stop to break even. So that's why to remind to operate within FFM, which is finding free money kind of a philosophy, and also to remind myself that like, and that's the core philosophy or essential thing which I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make money with the lowest risk possible. I also have a visual mnemonics or visual device which allows me to remind myself to focus on free money, which was created by one of the Stockbee members. So if you are interested in improving your trading performance, I highly recommend study the whole field of visualization, create visualization scripts specific to your trading, and spend 20 minutes in the morning doing visualization.